What's up, everybody? Well, I got another small form factor PC gameplay video for you guys today, and today I figured we would try out some Alan Wake 2. Figured I'd go back and try it out on some of the PCs I didn't give it a chance on. So I went and tried it out on the 7800X and the 7900X RTX secondary capture PC. So I figured we'd do it on the small form factor PC, the Alienware laptop, and then finish off on the TV PC. So hopefully it'll run halfway decently. I think path tracing is going to make everything fall flat on its face. If I remember correctly, that's just not going to happen. Unless you've got a 4090 and you're okay with like 30-ish FPS with DLSS on, then you're alright. But I don't know too many people that would actually enjoy that. Certainly not me. But hey, let's go see how this system handles it, shall we? Alright, just gonna do what we did on the secondary computer. Start maxed out with path tracing maxed out, which is stupid. It's gonna run like garbage, but I just want to see just so we can compare to all the rest of the systems, because I'm gonna do that on them too. But alright, let's hop into the game and let's see how it plays. Well,
So
here we
where's
go.
the deputy?
And we're getting like a whopping 16 FPS.
I'll check out that
Not
map.
exactly a playable experience, but hey, still doing better than any of the AMD systems did. Not that that counts too much.
Before we get swallowed up by the trees.
But if we put on a little like performance DLSS, we might actually get close to 30 FPS.
I should take a look at that map.
Still probably have drops under 30 FPS while recording, but it'd probably stay mostly over 30 FPS the whole time for people that are okay with that. Though I don't know too many PC people that would spend $2,000 on a PC and then be okay with 30 FPS, but I'm sure there's some out there. But in any case, I think that's just about enough of that. Why don't we go try turning on some FSR? All right, now let's try turning on some DLSS performance. Now, let's see if we can even get like 30 FPS. I thought we did, but for all I know, I'm misremembering. So let's hop on into the game and let's make sure. Well, now here we go. Seems like it can get around 30-ish FPS now. Again, not enough for me, but could be enough for some, so I'll at least walk around in some circles for a little bit here, and I want to at least get like around 60 FPS before I start going and getting like the 3-minute round walkthrough of the forest.
I think I hear someone. Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right?
All right, now
Sheriff Breaker
let's
said
move
you
along. Well, now let's see what happens if we put ray tracing just down to low at native 4K, which is kind of a little much for this card, but it can do it in a lot of games. This one seems to be a little too much for almost every computer, though, so I can't even hate on it. Even my 4090 PCs can't hit a constant 60 native in this game. But anyway, let's hop into the game and see how it does, though. Well, now here we go.
I'll check out that map. Worth memorizing before we get swallowed up by the
Back
trees.
to unplayable FPS, but I thought it would be a little crazy if it went all the way up to like 30 FPS just from turning ray tracing down to low. 4K is demanding, ray tracing is demanding.
take
You
a look at
combine the
that
two,
map.
you're in for a bad time, even on like a top-of-the-line computer. Like both of my 4090 PCs struggled with this game too, so I had to play it like, I think balanced DLSS, and then no ray tracing. Actually, no, I think I had ray tracing, but I just went with low. Didn't have everything maxed out with like in the path tracing
I
department.
think I hear someone.
If I had been okay
Could be
with
our
dropping under
deputy.
60 FPS or using FrameGen to fake my frames, then I probably could have done it. But FrameGen was acting funny. It always added some weird artifacts. All right, so now let's see what it does with everything on low with ray tracing. Well, the game maxed out, but with low ray tracing. Don't want to confuse people into thinking the game's on low. They're going to look through the settings and go, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But anyway, to the game. All right, in the game we go. getting like a high 30s to 40 FPS experience now. It's crazy how better that feels than it did before, just by gaining a couple of FPS. It still doesn't feel great by any means, but with a slow-paced game like this, I'm sure a lot of people could make do. But at the same time, there's still a lot of people like me that spend a lot on the computer to not get like low FPS. I want at bare minimum 60. But I'm a little bit spoiled, I'm not even going to lie. A lot of people would probably be happy with whatever they can get.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent
Alright,
Casey,
moving
right?
along. Now let's try just maxing the game out, turning ray tracing off. Well, as off as it can be. I think it always has some form of ray tracing in the background going that you can't completely turn off, but I could be wrong, but I could have sworn this was another one of those games that was like that. But in any case, let's go see how it does now. Alright, back in the game we are.
Eaten by a bear? I'll check out that map.
We're back to around 30 FPS it seems.
Worth memorizing.
4K is demanding, so I'm not that surprised.
Up by the trees.
I should take a look at that map.
Yeah, we'll probably have to drop it down to high and use DLSS performance to get like a 60 plus FPS experience in this game. At least with a base of 4K anyway.
I think I hear someone.
But this card would
Could
be
be
much
our
better
deputy.
suited to 1440p. I mean, it can play a lot of games in 4K for sure. So can like a 3090 Ti, but a lot of games, it just can't.
Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said
And right
you'd
now,
be
we'd probably be
coming by to
getting
take
like
over
right
the
around
case.
60 if we were at
You're
1440p.
half right.
I'm just guessing. But anyway, let's move along. Now here we go. We're gonna drop it down to performance DLSS. See what it's like, just maxed out, still with no ray tracing. Or at least ray tracing set to off. Don't know if there's still some running in the background or not. This game might be one of those games that always has some form of ray tracing running. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a programmer, and I play too many games to remember all of them, you know? So, to the game. Well, now here we are in the game.
Check out that map.
And it looks like we're
Worth
just barely
memorizing
right at around 60.
Before we get swallowed.
But, while we're recording anyway, it'll still probably drop under here and there.
I think I
That's
hear
why
someone.
I said I think we'll have to drop it down to
Could
just
be our
high
deputy.
preset with DLSS on performance to hit like a constant 60 plus. And even then it might drop under here and there in certain spots of the game, but the forest, from what I remember, is one of the hardest places to run. There's of course still a couple spots here and there that can get like a little iffy in the FPS department later on in the game too, but they're usually spots that are over pretty quick too. Where it's like,
Hey,
gross
over
frame
here.
drop. Oh wait, never mind, it fixed itself. That kind of shit. Which I don't like, but it's not like I'm gonna, oh my god, I can't deal with this. Alt
Agent
F4
Casey,
can't play this game. I'm not gonna be
Sheriff
that
Breaker
much of a
said
little
you'd be
baby
coming
about
by
it.
to take over the case.
I just
You're
prefer
half
60
right.
plus. If I can't have it, I'm still gonna enjoy the
Anderson.
game, but most of the
Saga
time when you have a
Anderson.
4090
I'll be
PC,
leading
you
this
can
case.
figure out a way to
Seems
get
you
60
already know my
plus.
partner, Alex Casey.
There's not too many games where it's just like, oh man, I keep trying, and I
Sorry
just
about
can't.
that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that...
All right, this one's running good enough to where we can go past this guy, I think.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah.
And it's
couple
also running good
out-of-towners.
enough for us to take
I wonder what
ourselves
they
a little
were doing
hit ski.
sneaking around the woods at night.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the
Man,
facts of the case
I
so
like that
far.
lighter. That lighter's awesome.
Make sure
I
I'm
hope it
seeing
doesn't
the
break
clues
super
clearly.
quick. But like I said, if it does, I'm going right back to
Facts
Bic.
are on the board.
They're cheap, they're reliable, and you
Everything
can get a
we
bunch
know
of
about
cool
the
looking
previous
designs on them.
murders.
And if somebody
Worth
tries to be like,
taking
oh my
another look.
god, you're poor, you use Bics, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, dude, I'm poor as hell. You got it. I don't even care. I've noticed something. It seems like the
I see
poorest
you're
people get the
already
most
hard at
offended
work,
when you
Anderson.
call them poor. You call a rich
Cracking
person
it.
poor,
We're
they're
just
like,
getting
okay.
started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey.
And hell, I'm not even saying I'm
You
rich. I'm
putting
only
me in
moderately
charge.
okay
Why
in the
now?
money department.
Look, Anderson.
There's far
you're a
richer people than I.
better detective than I am.
No, I'm still happy that I can
crack
just
cases
sit at
that
home
the
all day
rest
and
of
make
us
you guys
battle.
these videos.
I don't
And then
wanna
just
slow
also
you
play
down.
video games when
Are
I'm
you
not
thinking
making
of
videos.
retiring?
Go out for drives, do my own thing.
You
I'm pretty
know
sure
what
almost
happens to
anybody
cops who say
in the
this is
world
their
would love to
last
just
case.
not have to go to work and just do what
Real
they want all
funny,
day.
Anderson.
It doesn't have to be playing video games, obviously, but I'm pretty sure most people would be absolutely ecstatic to just, if they're into building cars, rebuild their classic car every day until it's finished. Then get it done so much faster.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm
Or,
not that
if you like
old.
books, read a bunch of books. There's so many different things you could do. But unfortunately, if everybody didn't go to work, then the world would grind to a halt. I mean, we could replace a lot of people with robots, but there's certain things you just can't. And then who's going to make sure all the robots and AI are working properly? Still has to be one human, at least for now. At least until AI gets to the point where it wasn't Terminator, but I don't think it'll take it very long to be like, hey, humans are evil, let's kill them all. You know? So, let us now move along. Alright, so here we go. Now let's just put it on the high preset. See how it does. We'll try it native, then we'll try it with a little DLSS on performance, which is pretty much what you need in a game like this just to get close to 60. None of the other ones were really cutting it. But anyway, to the game. Alright, here we go.
Eaten by a bear? I'll check out that map.
It looks we're getting like high 30s now.
Followed up by the
The
tree.
FPS counter is extraordinarily small.
I think I hear someone.
I'm not walking all the way back
Could
down.
be our deputy.
I would max the video so I could see it, but then I wouldn't be able to see how my Audacity is doing. I like watching the little
Hey, over
lines so I can make sure I'm not like maxing it out and peaking and then breaking your
Hey there.
guys' eardrums.
Agent Casey, right?
Though still some certain things
Sheriff
get
Brayton
past
said
me.
you'd be coming by to take over the case.
But I try not to
You're
let stuff like
half
that
right.
happen. But anyway, we'll still get ourselves some gameplay here. I'm sure some people would consider
Saga
this still
Anderson.
completely
I'll be
playable.
leading this case.
So why the hell not?
Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out-of-towners.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been...
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this game looks
You know
great.
what happens to
but
cops who say
I
this
still
is
don't
their
think it
last
looks
case.
so great that it should run the way it
Real
does. That's
funny,
always been my
Anderson.
personal opinion since it came out. Not when you had games like Red Dead Redemption 2, where I could be getting probably in the one like close to 100 FPS right now.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
Even at 4K with no DLSS. If I turn DLSS on, I could probably get like 120 or something like that with a base of 4K. And that's pretty crazy. Now maybe I could like get no FPS if I turned all the advanced options on. Those are the ones that really kill your shit. Same thing with GTA 5. I had a lot of people say, I can max that thing out on a potato. And it's like, no, you can't. Go turn all the advanced
Fucking
graphics on, make a
nature.
video, and I will watch the
Gives me a
slideshow.
headache.
And then I never heard
Too
from them
much
again.
sky.
They either didn't try, or they tried it, got owned, and gave up. Now let's try some DLSS performance with the game on high preset. This is your best chance of getting the closest to 60 all the time. I still think it'll drop under a little bit here and there, but this is your best chance. Unless you drop the settings way lower anyway. But anyway, let's get into the game, shall we? All right, here we are.
Eaten
We
by
now
a
have
bear.
some DLSS on
I'll check out
performance.
that map.
And now we seem to get like a high 60s to 70 FPS experience.
You're the one who wanted
which
to
is plenty for
I
a
think I
slow
hear
game
someone.
like this where you're just walking around.
Could be
I'd
our
like a little
deputy.
more, but hey,
Go take a
beggars can't be choosers. I wanted 60 plus,
over
and at
here.
least it's giving me that. Now, there
Hey
could be
there.
some spots where it still
Agent
drops,
Casey,
but
right?
I think for the most
Sheriff
part, it'll
Baker
stay
said
above
you'd
60
be
for you
coming
with
by
these
to
settings.
Take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out-of-towners.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the...
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far.
Smoking
Make sure I'm
in the
seeing the
woods.
clues clearly.
Just smoking in the woods.
The Mind Place.
Oh, she's going to her
The facts
mind
are on
place.
the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
I see you're
All right,
already
now that you're
hard
done
at
off
work, Anderson.
having your hairball, you want to come back
Close to
over here and
cracking
sit
it?
on my lap?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked
You can
cases
make
that
that
had the
jump,
rest
I
of
know
us
you can.
baffled. I don't want to slow
You've
you
got some
down.
forest cat.
Are you
in
thinking of retiring?
Forest cats are great jumpers.
You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
There she goes. Why, hello, Miston. Welcome to the lab.
Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
All right, though. Well, let's move on to camera, shall we?
All right, let's get ourselves some camera-reported gameplay so we don't have anything interfering with the FPS this time.
I think I hear someone. Could be our deputy.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Baker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they...
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Yeah, it runs really nice. Obviously, this TV holds back this
You okay to
computer
jump
quite a bit, in all honesty. I was kind of waiting for something to tickle my fancy on the main PC, but that LG C1 is pretty badass. It's hard to beat that thing. But I'll probably bring that in here eventually, when I find something suitable to upgrade it to from it. But so far, nothing really has been enough to be like, wow, yeah, I want to go and spend $2,000 on that. You know, it's just like, I could, but why?
Gives me a headache.
So, once something useful comes out, then sure. Until then, I guess we're just sticking with things the way they are.
Not a bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
Damn. Should have brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
Yeah, you know they didn't.
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. And the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you.
Yeah. It seems to do a pretty good job here, even though we're doing a base of 4K. Now, if we were doing like 1440 or something more reasonable for this GPU, it'd be getting even better. This is kind of like a worst case scenario.
The scene of the crime. We found him on the table.
But alright, this is about where I got on the 7900X RTX. And this is about where I stopped, so I'd say we'll do the same thing here. So let's go wrap this video on up.
Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for Alan Wake 2 on the small form factor PC, and it still was more than playable, but being 4K, I figured it was going to go fall flat on its face without any DLSS or anything like that, at least for a game like this. If we were playing at like 1440p or something more reasonable, we'd be able to probably get some pretty nuts performance out of it, especially if we included DLSS. But still, did more than good enough once we turned off ray tracing. Ray tracing is just kind of like, I don't know, it just hits everything hard in this game. And unless you have like a 4090 or something, you're not going to get like 60 FPS without using some form of DLSS. And even that, if you're playing at 4K, which most people with a 4090 are, well, you're still going to have to use DLSS. Now, if you were playing at 1440 or ultra wide, maybe you could get away with not, but we shall see. I'm curious how that M18 is going to handle it, since it's just got to do 1200p and 1440. So it's not going to be able to compete with this, obviously, especially because it's an NVIDIA sponsored game. It's all about that ray tracing and that NVIDIA hardware. So at least with path tracing, it actually beat my 7900 RTX. But once we turned off the ray tracing, my 7900 RTX beat this, which would be expected. It's like $300 almost more than this card costed, so you would hope so. But in any case, that's all I got for you guys for this particular video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.